Shemai, Yasharallah, Yahweh, Allahayanawa, Yahweh, Achad, Shemai, Yasharallah, Yahweh, Allahayanawa, Yahweh, Achad, Shemai, Yasharallah, Yahweh, Allahayanawa, Yahweh, Achad. Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Bahashon Chahakodash. I want to give double honors to our elder apostles, elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well, as well as peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. I was a high spirit wing lawyer. And today I want to go into a topic entitled Pour into the Inner Man. All right, pour into the new creature. Pour into the new creature. All right, which is the inner man. As it says in the book of Psalm, I delight in the law of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai after the inner man or inward man. See, we live in an outward man culture. All right, and what we haven't been taught in this Roman world, what we haven't been taught in this Roman world is that we have an inner man. And that inner man has to get watered. And he has to get developed. All right. He has needs. All right. He speaks to you. All right. Which is, he is you. Okay. It's your spirit. Okay. But in this Romanized world, like I said, we're only being taught that we are our flesh. And we are our impulses. We are our natural devices. And we should obey them. Hence, Satanism. Do as thou wilt. So all of our lives, we've walked in darkness because we've only obeyed our lust. We've only obeyed our thirst. And everything on a conscious and subconscious level reiterated the mindset of feeding the outward man, obeying your thirst, obeying your lust, do as thou wilt. I even think about the Nike company, just do it. If you think about it, what the hell does it have to do with basketball or any sport for that matter? Like, just do it. Just do what? Yeah, when you think about it, it's a nice dog. Just do what? Seems like just do what your impulses, your flesh tells you to do, because this is an empire of Satanism, a kingdom of Satan. You see? This is a kingdom of Satan, and the horn blew in the background when I said that, man. So, but the kingdom of Satan, not only does it involve rituals, all right, but also just your behavior. Just follow your primitive natural devices. So we've been in this world, in this kingdom for 20, 30, 40, 50 years without a real compass, north compass, all right? Without a real, without real spiritual direction. We've only known how to feed our appetites, man. Isn't that something? All right, but now, as it says, they that are of Yahweh Shai are of a new creature. They are a new creature. So now the inner man that King David was talking about, the inner man that the Apostle Paul was talking about, we have to feed him and we have to pour into him. Even going to this park that I'm at right now is pouring into the inner man. Okay? It's feeding the inner man. And you can feel it. It's an intuition. It's just not advertised in mainstream media, but you can feel it. After you leave a park, you pour into the inner man after you do a lesson with brothers. All right. Y'all have that fellowship. All right. As it says in the scriptures, like forsake not the roughly paraphrasing, forsake not the assembly, primarily that means teaching, but after teaching, brothers might, break bread, man. But that's pouring into the inner man. All right, you ain't trying to get no box, man. At that moment, you ain't trying to deal with, you dealing in the spirit, man. You ain't dealing with some woman at that moment. You ain't looking for a woman at that moment. You pouring into the inner man. When y'all having those what they call high level conversations, you and the spirit, you and a brother doing a lesson, and the spirit bouncing off both of y'all. Oh no, that's pouring into the inner man. How you feel when you get done? You feel just elated. You feel powerful. Okay? That's pouring into the inner man. You see? Put this camera on me. That's pouring into the inner man. You see? Fasting, cleansing, praying. That's pouring into the inner man. So you find out what the inner man needs, the man that's the offspring of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, a man that sprung off from the source, as they call it, but the source is Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. That's the son of Yahweh, which is you. All right, you find out what's his nutritional needs. You see? Even if you feed your flesh properly, you feed your spirit. If you feed your flesh, clean foods, you're feeding your spirit. You find out your mind thinks cleaner when you're not eating a lot of food with chemicals in it. You see, that's better for the inner man. There's certain music that's not good for the inner man, and there's certain music that's good for the inner man. There are certain women that you could be compatible with, and it's good for the inner man. And there are certain women who are not good for the inner man. Might look good to the eyes, but it might not be good for the inner man. And it's all about the inner man. Because we're new creatures who no longer let the lower nature rule us. And it's not just talking about with sex, it's with just ego, whatever. Emotions. No, it's about the inner man. You see? I delight in the law of Yahweh after the inner man. To get up and read. That's pouring into the inner man. You gotta feed the inner man. You feed the inner man with the word of Yahweh. You see? Let me see if I can turn this the other way so I can at least read the comments. Nah, it won't let me turn the other way. Hey, the water, my brother. The water, my brother. Kahalayim la Yahweh Shema Shai. I delight in the law of Yahweh after the inner man. I'm gonna tell you something, bro. I was instructed. Well, it was a bunch of brothers who were all instructed or just giving advice about going on the cleanse, man. And that cleanse kicked off a whole nother level of thinking. And I just think it's not only for, better for my flesh and my body per se, but the inner man loved it. And I noticed the more you pour into the inner man, the more he tells you what you need to do to keep pouring into him. And really it's Yahweh Bahashem Shai putting that information inside of your mind. With the water, brother, that uplifts me to hear it. And look, man, I've been in this truth in terms of the internet era. I've been in this truth for a little minute. I was raised with brothers. Me and brothers have grown up together. We've had struggles in the flesh, dealing with our flesh together. We've I've been with brothers at the age of 18, 17, 19, being in the truth and struggling with the flesh, you know, and the things that come along with that. Having a desire to just be in the spirit, with your flesh saying, fuck that shit, you know? And then you let your flesh win a battle, or your flesh consistently wins, then you feel like crap. I've been there, all right? And like I said, it's not just me, just brothers alike. We've been in this fight together for years. But I'm saying all that to say, don't feel bad because you didn't win overnight. Losing has beauty to it, man. Like J. Cole said, it's beauty in the struggle, because the low points keep you humble. And it's not a good feeling when you brought low, but in the grand scheme of things, it keeps you in the same playing field as the men around you, because you don't want to have the sense of elitism about yourself amongst the brothers. So the Most High knock you down for one, so brothers won't think you some great exclusive prophet beyond outside of them, you know. Then once you strong, you make other brothers strong, and once you're weak, you pray to Yahweh Bahasham Shai for strength. And on deeper levels, that strength makes you deep in the scriptures, right? That high level you be in, that deep spirit you'll be in, it'll make you deep in the scriptures, right? But the Most High don't need you up there all the time. Certain things don't require you to be up there. Some things don't require you to be up there all the time. All right? So sometimes Most High knock you down to go back to the basics of the scriptures. You have to, there's a scripture in Sirach, roughly paraphrasing, that says, it's better for a man to have little knowledge and is obedient than a man that has great knowledge and he transgresses. So it's not all about that deep stuff, man, or being too deep, 3 deep. Because what happens when you 2 deep, 3 deep? Brothers start looking at you a certain way, like, man, that brother though, you know, whole camps be getting overlooked because they got these powerful prophets in the camp. And there's no disrespect if a brother's a powerful teacher, man. That's just a gift. Well, let's say some of that brothers just so happen to be wicked and the Most High removed them. Then you see like, oh, that you move this hand out the way, and you see all these these young men behind them, these young hatchlings. You know what I mean? And we never noticed them. It's like if you move a hen out the way or a duck out the way, it's like, oh, they had all these hatchlings up under him. But then they grow up and be beautiful birds. We couldn't hear them chirping because of you. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but that just, I've noticed some you know, the certain men got moved out the way. Then they gave more attention to that particular camp. Then you realize, man, that whole camp is beautiful, man. And I hope I didn't say that in a way that, you know, it shouldn't have been said. But you know, we've had the big faces. The Lord, you know, the Lord got them out there, out the way for whatever reason. But then it brought more attention to the camp. You see? And we've seen that over the years. But I'm saying all that to say, being deep didn't keep you in. It's a good feeling to get revelations in the spirit, to see certain things in the spirit, to be fully immersed into the spirit, to defend the gospel on the highways and the byways. You know, so it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling for men to give you your props, man. But we have to make sure that the inner man is on point too, in the sense that, hey, like the Apostle Paul said, I put my flesh under fucking subjection. Excuse my language. I put my flesh under subjection, man. You know? You know? Come, bro, come. You know? It's beautiful brothers out here that we may not have known too much about until after the controversy with their camp. You know? And I got an opportunity to meet some of these brothers, man. I'm like, man, these are some brothers that you low-key fear in the spirit because they got that spirit on them, man. You respect them in the, and you might be older than them in the spirit, but I still got a reverence for them. Like, nah, this is a serious man right here. You know, this is a serious brother. You see? But the point is, man, and I'm excited to do this lesson because I'm teaching as I learn. Like, oh man, this is about pouring into the spirit in as much as possible, man. Don't make your life about what you don't have. Just see the beauty in what the Most High is doing by taking certain things from you. By taking certain things in the flesh, all right, that gives space to develop in the spirit. Like I said, walking in the park, you feeding that spirit, man. Being around water, being around nature, you feeding the spirit. You know, abstaining for women for a certain particular period of time, and you feeding the spirit. The most I see those sacrifices, you feeding the spirit. Eating fruits, vegetables, non-processed foods. You know, you eat your meat, your lamb and stuff like that, but you eat the better variety of it. You know, you're not being a gluttoner. You feeding the spirit. Temperance, it's moderation feeds the spirit, man. Real talk. You know? But I've learned for everything you can feed your flesh, there's a positive side in the spirit. King David basically played classical music to Saul. I'm sorry, at the time he wasn't King David. David played certain type of music to Saul, man. And it was more like a classical music. And that was music that fed his spirit to the point where it got rid of demons. It got evil spirits off of him. You see? But what do we have now? This real demonic shit. You see? This real demonic shit, man. You see? And then these niggas that do this shit so demonic, they'll be on social media going live, indirectly talking about how they killed this person. It's like, wow. Then they mention a nigga in the song, and 2 months later, he the new dad nigga. Hey, but the scripture says, they that live out of the flesh shall perish. You know? But I don't get angry at these men too much, because the culture is toxic. The culture is sick, man. You pretty much, most Jake's gonna do was what the culture deems as acceptable. If your culture made you look like a clown for fighting all the time, or a clown for jumping out of a car and doing hits and whatever you call it, then you'll be ashamed to do it because you don't want to be a clown. If your culture made you feel ashamed for dressing up, leaving the house with no clothes on, then you want to leave the house with no clothes on because you don't want that shame. Shame is a tool to keep things in check, man. You know? I had unaware to tell me to stay in the word because it's my lifeline and to not lust. Yeah. Well, you know, sometimes, brother, when I walk past a woman, or, you know, you might be out in public, I hear a voice say, stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire not for pleasure. And it's not to say that I don't look at women, because, you know, I do. I think most brothers do. But sometimes I hear that voice in my ear, and it's like practicing, you know what I mean? You practicing, you know, because one thing I've learned, that the woman too is a part of the matrix. There are women of 1/3 who are unplugged from the matrix, as though we were a part of the matrix. Now we're unplugged. But most women we see, especially 99% of Judah or Southern Kingdom, they're plugged into that matrix. And she's just a simulation. And a lot of us brothers, when we get with them, Satan will use her in a way that'll really get you out the truth. In a nutshell, it's just to get you out the truth, because she's just an agent of the matrix. Typically an agent of Satan. But I've experienced enough and learned enough to understand that if I didn't get her, that I didn't lose anything. But that comes with growth. You know, that comes with, that's something you can't force on a brother. You see a brother, you know, he love the women. I love women too, but I've learned enough to know that if I didn't get her, I didn't lose anything. You know? But like I said, that comes with a brother growing, and sometimes a dog gotta stick his nose in a fucking thorn bush and get them thorns on his nose to realize not to fuck with that thorn bush, man. Some things you gonna learn if you gonna learn through the apostles' admonitions. Some things you're gonna learn through reading, and some things you're gonna learn through experience. You know, but that'll create your story. But it's not wise to not learn from other men's experiences when they vocalize their experiences, and you can learn from them. But once again, myself first. Some things you're just gonna learn. Some things you're just gonna learn. Some things you're just gonna learn through experience, and that's how you evolve. That's how your character develops. You know. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look up that harp music. I usually play piano music. That's what I've been playing lately. You know. I like that Chopin, Frederick Chopin. I like Eric Satie. You know. I like a little Mozart. And sometimes I like Afro beats too. Sometimes I do play like some whatever rap song that was in my head. If I need that energy, I play that. You know. Sometimes I play the song. Sometimes I just play the instrumental. You know, especially if I'm tired. You know what I mean? Or you just get off work. Play some type of 80s hit single. You know, I play all that, but mostly the Afro beats. If I'm doing extended driving, or like, you know, I'm doing some type of creative stuff. You know, but that's just me. You know, that's another thing too. Brothers are different, man. You know, but my admonition to brothers is pour into the inner man. That's what it's all about. Because there's a joy and comfort and peace that comes with self-restraint to one level or another. And your self-restraint is not going to be another brother's self-restraint. But there's always a reward in the spirit for a sacrifice in the flesh. It's always, in the ultimate reward, it's the kingdom. Because you know why? We killed our Tyrone. If you watch the movie, they cloned Tyrone. We've had a character that we could have played out in Babylon. I could have had a bald head, the Egyptian beard, or that Grecian beard, that you know, that real sharp razor cut beard that goes against the Most High. I could have been a multi-millionaire. That's my Tyrone. But we came into the truth and killed Tyrone. But who came to life when Tyrone died? The inner man, the new creature. So you're looking at the new creature, and I'm looking at the comments from the new creatures. You see? But the reward for killing your Tyrone is immortality if we endure to the end. But as long as we are on this side, all right, as long as we're on this side, we learn how to feed that new creature. What is a new creature like? Well, you know, he loves the word. But certain things are just good for your soul, like I said, walking in the park. You know? That's feeding your spirit. Eating fruits and vegetables. That's feeding the spirit. But when I do lessons, I make an effort to give a balance, because I know that no man is going to do this the straight way 100%, because we're in the flesh. And we have moments when we say fuck it, you know what I mean? Even when you say fuck it, you should still be mindful of what you're going to treat yourself with, you know? Because when it comes down to it, this is part of your growth, your journey too. When it comes to treating yourself, why treat yourself with something that's toxic? Is that really treating yourself? You know? So you can always treat yourself with a higher grade version of what you've been treating yourself with before. You see? The scripture says, be not righteous over much, you know? But we do have to love ourselves, man. We gotta practice loving ourselves. I know there's something that's being said more in the world, but it's true. Part of loving yourself is giving yourself the best, you know, giving your temple the best so your spirit can have the best. But so you can have optimum health, you know, to the best of your ability in this kingdom, man. I'm walking on concrete, man. I was working on, you know, I was jumping on and off a hard floor today, man. So you have to love yourself to counter what the fuck Babylon is doing to us, man. You know? Get that Epsom salt, take a salt bath, man. I might do that tonight, man. You know, light that candle, man. Light an incense, get that Epsom, take that salt bath, man. Play a little music, man. A little 20-minute, you know what I mean? Take a 30-minute nap if you can, a 20-minute nap, man. Because you got to slow down and speed up, too. You know? You know? The water for tuning in, too, brothers, sisters. You know, I usually do my lessons when I'm on my way to work early in the morning, but I got a little time, and the spirit was on me to hit the park, to hit the park, you know? Hey, brother said he might go on a 3-day fast. Hey, maybe how about Hashem Hawashai? Hey, give you that strength, because we all know what we're capable of doing, you know. And what I've learned about fasting is like stretching a muscle. The first time you go on the first time you're going to fast, it might be hell on earth. But the next time you go, you're a little more tolerable of it, because it's like stretching a muscle, you know. And you stretching the mind too. You making the mind strong. So a lot of us, we didn't have strong minds. So the average American doesn't have a strong mind. They're impulsive. They're slaves to their impulse. We've already been conditioned to respond to the smell of Popeye's chicken, respond to a commercial that's got some special on some bullshit junk food. We're responding to that. We have impulses, sexual impulses, food impulses that's been hacked by this wicked scientist called Esau Edom. We naturally have impulses, but they've been exploited by Esau Edom. You know? But when I've learned that when you fast, it makes your mind and oftentimes stronger than your impulses. You're still going to have the impulses, but you have more control over it. Because this thing of ours is really one facet or one aspect of this truth. It's about making your mind stronger than your impulses, making your spirit stronger than your flesh. Are you going to have desires? Of course. Are you going to succumb to those desires depending on what it is? Yes, you will. I'm going to tell you ahead of time. That's part of the battle. But I told you, those are things that make you humble and you develop character, you know? Also, it gives you a drive to get back up and win, you know, to get it right the second time, the third time, the 10th time. You see? But one thing I've noticed about this truth is that in this journey, it makes your mind stronger than your flesh. It makes your mind stronger than your impulses, you know? But that's pretty much the point. Con. You know? But that's pretty much the point, Akim. With that, hey, Shalom. The water for tuning in.